night. 2.5 days later, we're playing a side, Leicester, that's just scored 8 goals in their last 2. They've just had the week off. They're a really good side, and yet we're on cruise control in the last few minutes of the game. It's an absolutely fantastic performance from Manchester United. There's so many things to talk about, none more so than player ratings. Get your votes in, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll do that in a minute. But David De Gea breaking the clean sheet record from Peter Schmeichel. That's a huge thing to mention on the show straight away. Bruno Fernandes is just a pure monster. He's just played another 90 minutes. I don't think he's human. I really, really do not think he's human. And can I just say this about Bruno Fernandes as well? He may not be your man of the match. Maybe you're going to go Lindelof. Maybe you're going to go Rashford. Maybe you are going to go De Gea. But in the consideration of Bruno Fernandes, it matters not whether he's your man of the match today. What matters is what he is bringing to this team week in, week out. I think he's underrated. I think he's the best captain in the league with Odegaard. I think they are unbelievable captains that are doing such an understated job. I think if they had British passports, they probably would be championed as the next John Terry. They are doing, or the next Steven Gerrard. Bruno Fernandes plays every week for Manchester United, plays nearly every game, nearly every minute, sometimes on the right wing, sometimes at number 10. Since he's took over the captaincy, look at his win ratio. It is unbelievable. And I think there's this modern conception that, being a captain's not important. I've played the game. You've probably played the game. The captain on the pitch is so important. The manager can have limited impact on a game when the game's actually ongoing. They can before the game, they can on training, and they can at half time. But during the game, you need a leader. You need somebody to keep you going, organised, and he does it. And I don't think he gets the credit for it because, you know what? It's just not something that the general mainstream media have any interest in picking up on for whatever reason. But we should pick up on it as fans because our win percentage is ridiculous. The minutes he spends on the pitch is ridiculous. And his performance level is ridiculous as well. And I know he can play the odd bad pass, but he's been such a revelation this season, and I don't think he deserves the credit. Marcus Rashford again, you just know he's going to score. 2 goals today, you just know he's going to score. Those 2 saves by De Gea at 0-0, absolutely remarkable. And then Erik Ten Hag. And I want actually just Lindelof as well. Can I just say, I think Victor Lindelof as a deputy is underrated as well. Every press conference, what did the press say? When's Harry going to play? What's Harry? What's Harry? No, I've never heard one question by one journalist about Victor Lindelof this year. This is the Premier League. It's been an international league for decades. Why do we have to ask about Harry Maguire every bloody press conference and Victor Lindelof never gets a question, and yet every time he comes in, he does a better job? For me, if Varane's injured or suspended or needs a rest, Lindelof should get the job because we play different with Lindelof than the way we play with Maguire. Maguire's not as mobile. We don't, he doesn't like being left on his own as much as Lindelof. I think Lindelof was really good today. Mark, we just won the game. You want to moan on Bruno? What are you talking about, Tom? I think Tom's needs to go to the hospital and have his ears cleared out. What are you on about? Welcome to the Members Club, James. Listen, Mark, I'm 34-year-old American. If Fred can play for United, Ten Hag needs to scout me. We don't need any negativity. And David De Gea, man of the match, and loved the way we played in the second half. Bruno was top leader today. What a win, Mark, says Daniel. Thank you very much. And the scary thing about this team is how much better it is when we got Casemiro and Sabitzer. Look, let me just talk about Ten Hag and then I'll talk about that. I think there is a scary thing about this team. But can we just also acknowledge that a few years ago, I was playing FIFA. Wout Weghorst was playing for Burnley. He scored a goal. I said, I'd never heard of him. He sounds like Harry Potter's mate. I'll tell you who is Harry Potter's mate, and he's pure magic, and his name is Erik Ten Hag. I never knew he was in Hogwarts because he is magician, man. He is absolutely... He's Gandalf's brother. He's absolutely magnificent what Erik Ten Hag does. Half-time probably won't get the credit he deserves. He changes the whole front four. We're 1-0 up at half-time. David De Gea has made a great couple of saves. Rashford has made a great on-the-break finish. We do deserve to be 1-0 up, but it's a very equal game. At half-time, it's a very equal game. We've had a couple of scares. We've scored a goal. Second half, forget about it. Leicester are the better team in the second... we're the better team in the second half by a long way. And that's because of tactics and changes. He makes one sub, but he changed the whole front four. Bruno stayed on the right. That was the only consistent thing. Sancho went to 10. Weghorst went from 10 to 9. And Rashford went from 9 to wing. We changed the front four and it changed the game. We dominated them. They couldn't get into the game as soon as we did that. And that was because in the first half, Weghorst as a 10 just didn't work and we couldn't get hold of the midfield. But the minute we brought Sancho on, it enabled us to keep possession in the final third that Weghorst couldn't. And then Weghorst continued his press from the front, and then Rashford's far more dangerous off the left than anything we've got at the moment. And we just took control of the game. It was a masterstroke, and we're seeing this all the time. We've been spoiled with Ten Hag. We've actually got a coach. I think for the last few years, we've had coaches of differing levels who were very stubborn to change things. They have their plan. They had their, even Mourinho, brilliant coach, but very stubborn. I've got my plan. I've picked my team and I want to stick with it. Ollie obviously had a plan and stuck with it. Van Gaal was the same. Ten Hag will change. He will change tactics. He will change the way we're playing. He will move players about. He is not stubborn and he is not arrogant, and he is obsessed with one thing, and that is winning. And that change at half time just completely changed the game. As I said, at half time, Leicester will feel they're in the game and maybe could have been 1-1, 2-1 up. Second half, there can be no complaints from Brendan Rodgers or Leicester. You got absolutely pummeled. You were not in the game second half. Not at all. Lindelof sitting Maguire lovers down, says Alfie. Watching that second half, and genuinely, it's tough to believe how far Ten Hag has taken the squad. Magnificent, Zachary. Absolutely magnificent. I know I wanted Eric Ten Hag when his Ajax dismantled a Dortmund with Haaland. I honestly, Mark, haven't been buzzing like this since Sir Alex. Says Sumi. Welcome to Members Club SQ. And also, It's a Duck. Says Sancho being brought on to play the 10 changed the game. His ball control in tight area is amazing. Circus football with Wan-Bissaka near the end too. Ten Hag needs to thank the board publicly for giving him such a deep squad, says Abram. I don't know. I've got some weird takes in here today. I think Ten Hag is working a miracle with a squad that he didn't get backed in January with, to be honest with you. I can't believe what he's doing. I cannot believe what he's doing. And it's good to acknowledge the subs, whether it's McTominay, whether it's Sancho, whether it's Wan-Bissaka. And it's not just today. The subs come on and they're hungry. They've not got a chip on their shoulder because they haven't played. They're not moody. You know, they come on and they're hungry. And I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Martial and Anthony are back training tomorrow, because we've got the new camp. We've got Barcelona at Old Trafford on Thursday, and we've got a cup final next Sunday. Players want to be involved. They want to play. They want to impress. And you see that when they come off the bench. They're hungry to get involved, and they're desperate to be involved. And that can only be a good thing. And the scary thing is, and this is not a negative, the scary thing for me is we can only get better. I've not even mentioned the title race yet, but we're 3 points off Man City. I believe Man City are the favourites. Arsenal are top, but I believe Man City are the favourites because they've been there, done that. We're 3 points off Man City, and we're nearly at the end of February. If we can go to Liverpool in 2 weeks and get a result, why are we not in a title race? I don't think we will win the title. I don't think we should talk about winning the title. It would be ridiculous to go from the worst ever Manchester United Premier League side at the end of last year to winning the Premier League the following year. It would be unbelievable. And those things can happen. For me, it's take every game as it comes. Stay in it for as long as you can. What goes on above us, we can't control. We've played Man City twice. We've played Arsenal twice. We've got no game where we can go, well, we're really 2 points behind if we win that. We can't. We can only do what we can do. And those above us have got to drop points, and we've got to keep winning. But I think that Liverpool game in 2 weeks, and I don't want to look too far ahead because we've got Barcelona on Thursday, we've got a Carabao Cup final after that, but the games are coming thick and fast, and you can only take it a game at a time. But the scary thing is, we're doing this with Bruno out of position, no holding midfielder, and our holding midfielder is the best one in Europe when he comes back, Casemiro, and really, as much as Weghorst works hard, ain't that good. So we're still doing this without a striker. We're still doing this without a CDM, and we're putting Bruno on the wing. We can be better than what we're doing simply because we're missing some key players. So it's scary what we could do, but we just got to keep our feet on the ground. I think the hardest job that Ten Hag has at the moment, and what he does really well, and it doesn't get mentioned, is the concentration and focus. Never look ahead. Don't look ahead, just look in front of you, because that's the only game that matters. And he's drilled that in from day one. We want to win every game, and the next game is the most important game, because you can't look too far ahead. And I actually think, job done with the Premier League. We're not playing in the Premier League for 2 weeks. We've got 3 cup games in 3 different cup tournaments now. And we want to win a cup. So we forget the Premier League. We don't even think about our next Premier League game. We've put ourselves in a position. and we'll see what happens when we come back. Can we all take a minute to appreciate where Ten Hag has taken us? Says Paul. Thank you, Paul. Great substitution system, wasn't working, and Garnacho struggled. David De Gea and Martinez, excellent. Rashford's pace and finishing is scary, says Nasha. Absolutely love the feeling of having trust in Ten Hag with the team. Love where the club is going, Mark, says Kieran. Welcome to Members Club, Leonard. It's fantastic, isn't it? I just hope that this doesn't get derailed by the new ownership or the current ownership. I don't think the Glazers are going to stay. I really don't. But you know, we're on the cusp of something here, and you know, you just want to keep that momentum going. There's something special about Mainu. I think any young player, whether it's Garnacho, Januzaj, or Mainu, if you're getting game time under Ten Hag, it's hard. He will only pick young players who he feels deserve it. He won't just do it for the hell of it. So, very interesting. Saw somebody in the chat there say, title race, you're having a laugh. Look, do you think there's a United fan out there going, we're going to win the league? I'm not. But tell me we're not in a title race. We're 3 points off Manchester City and we're 5 points off Arsenal. And Arsenal have got to play Man City. So, at the end of the day, we are in the title race. You can't deny it. I don't think we want to accept it. I don't want to accept it. I don't think it's... I don't know what to think about it. I don't think it necessarily helps us. Every time we talk about a title race, we drop points anyway, and our next game is Anfield. So I don't want to talk about a title race. But the reality is, only an idiot would say you're not in a title race when you're 3 points off Manchester City and 5 points off Arsenal. Like, there's still 15 games to go. How can you not be in a title race? 5 points is nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we are in one. I just don't think we need to really give it any air. We'll see what happens. If we can be 3 points off City at the end of April, let's have a go. But obviously, we've just got to... The most important thing is to win a trophy. Top four we've got to get, and I think we've got top four. I think that win today, we're not giving anybody behind us a chance. You can't be caught if you keep winning. And I think top four is pretty much done. It would take a collapse of unbelievable proportions to not be in the top four. So Champions League football, absolutely essential. I think we'll get that. Got to win a trophy. You know, top four doesn't win you a trophy. These players need a trophy. They need to know what it feels like to touch trophies or take a winner's medal home. And that's the next step. We've got to win a trophy. If we can do it next week against Newcastle, it's job done early. But I still think, you know, why not win the FA Cup? Why not win the Europa League? Can you win the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and win the league? No, you can't. But I think Ten Hag's going to try. I bet Ronaldo is furious. Well done, Ten Hag, says Ashley. We used to play for times like these. Glad we are here, says Aloha. I cannot understand the Fred hate. He has improved massively, and it's not his fault. We lack depth in the midfield. He gives us everything he's got, says Gabe. And I'm loving watching it. Well, you know what? The thing about absolutely buzzing, says Indivir. Great to see Sancho balling. The thing about Fred is he played the pass for the second goal, and it was a good pass. It was a good pass by Fred. And let's not call it the Qatar bid anymore. It's a bid by an individual using his personal fortune, so the state is not going to be bankrolling anything. Mott, if you believe that, you'll believe anything. I'm not against Qatar buying Man United, but they're definitely behind that bid. It's the same as Nice and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. You know, he owns Nice and he's going to own Man United. I don't think the only issue with Qatar is the fact that they own PSG, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe owns Nice. They're both the same. I don't know why people are getting so knickers in a twist about it. Eric Ten Hag is helping our wrinkles from last year disappear, says Beagle. And Mark would love to see a show on the Ten Hag miracle. More from you on how he's getting the most from a squad that everyone said needs an overhaul, says David. I just think he's a fantastic coach. I think he's a coach. Like Pep Guardiola is a coach and Jurgen Klopp is a coach. You will get better out of players if you're a good coach. Imagine what he can get if he's given what Pep's been given or Klopp's been given. Imagine what he gets if he gets a free role to say, you can go and I want you. That's what needs to happen. Right, let's do these player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. We're good to go here. So, David De Gea, for me, today, it's got to be an 8. 8.2 from you. I completely agree. You could go higher. I'd be tempted to give him a 9 because he's broken the clean sheet record. The funny thing about De Gea today is that those 2 saves were absolutely world class. Absolutely world class. Sean says he's taking it game by game and make sure to stay in range of the top. Exactly. And do you think this is the most exciting post, Sir Alec? Oh, Ram, 100%. But I think that you could give De Gea a 9. To be honest, he didn't do anything in the second half. But you know what? The 2 saves are so easy to predict and say that's why he got an 8. You know what? I see these people clipping him up all the time. And this is exactly why clip compilations taking the piss out of a player never matter. Because there was 2 bad passes from De Gea today. But there was about 15 really good ones. So if you clip the 2 bad ones, you can pretend he's shit. But I actually thought his distribution was really good. Long and short. There was one in the first half where he could have played it easily to Martinez and he bypassed him to go to Luke Shaw with a longer pass. I thought his distribution was really good today. Obviously the saves were the most important things. I mean, distribution's great, but we could have been 2-0 down. I mean, what do we want to do? Oh, his distribution's good, but he let 2 goals in. I thought he was brilliant. I thought David De Gea was really good today. And I think that he deserves the results. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so 8.2 for you. And 8 for me. The low, probably a 6 today. Yeah, 6 point. What am I missing out on here? 6. Am I missing something with Delo? I thought it was an average performance from Delo today. I thought he should have scored. I thought he showed a lot of energy. No, I'm gonna stick with a 6. I thought it was an average Delo performance today. I love Delo, but I'd probably give him a 6. Lindelof 7.5. Thought he played really well. Probably a 7. If I'm giving De Gea an 8, I'm giving Lindelof a 7. So I'll give Lindelof a 7. I think he's a brilliant deputy for Manchester United, and I think he deserves the credit. And I don't think he gets enough. I think he's underrated, Lindelof, and I don't think he gets the credit. And I know it's not Maguire's fault, but the press need to start asking questions about Lindelof because Maguire's not even been good for us this season. He was good for England. He's not been good for Man United. So why, as a journalist, do you keep asking Erik ten Hag 2 or 3 questions about Maguire every bloody week, and you never ask about Lindelof, who's barely put a foot wrong? I think Lindelof deserves some bloody respect. And I think the English bias needs to stop because Maguire's not been good for Man United this season. Lindelof has. Yet it's always questions about Maguire. It's poor. Like let's look at the squad without looking at the passport. So I thought Lindelof was good today. Martinez, great to have him back. Good to get a bit of. I'll give him a 7 as well. Such a leader, such determination. Good organiser. So good on his left foot. Great to have Martinez back, and he's going to be so important for the Barcelona game. Luke Shaw, again, I thought Luke Shaw played really well. I mean, look, he played on Thursday night as well, so he's the only one in the back 4 apart from De Gea who, actually played on Thursday night. So I thought, yeah, strong 7 from Luke Shaw for me as well. And the back 5 got a clean sheet, and it's not our best back 5, and there was a few changes in there, so big shout out to them. And Luke Shaw, it looked like it was more of an impact injury than anything major. We can't afford to lose Luke Shaw. He's so important to us. Obviously, he can play left centre back as well. I think Sabitzer would be a 6.5 for me. I wouldn't go as high as a 7, but I think some people misunderstood his performance. I heard some people thought he played really, really well. Some people thought he played really bad. I actually think he did a really good job for us. He's not really a CDM. We haven't seen the best of him yet, and he basically did the Casemiro role, which is hard in a league that he's never played in before, against a very energetic Leicester side with a very good front 4. And I think that we didn't concede, and he did really well. And I'm really excited to see the fact that Casemiro hasn't played with Sabitzer yet. And I think when Casemiro plays with Sabitzer, you unlock Sabitzer. So I'm really excited to see what Ten Hag does. Is Sabitzer his first choice midfielder with Casemiro, or is he going to stick with Fred? And that's something I can't answer, but I'm excited to see. But I was happy with Sabitzer today. Fred, probably a 6 for me. He did get the assist, and we've needed Fred, but I think it was a typical Fred performance, and I have to give it as an average because there was bad bits and there was good bits, and therefore it's average for me. He played a good pass for Rashford for the second goal. He was tenacious. He never gives up. And I think that's always a positive with people like Fred and Weghorst, is they can get slated for certain aspects of the game, but they never let it impact their game in relation to their effort. And the effort levels of Fred in the last 2 games have been really, really good. So for me, I would give him a 6 today. Same as Delo. Weghorst, 6 for me as well. Again, can't argue with his work rate, but as a number 10, I don't think that works. I think in the first half, that was the problem. And as a striker, look, there's no doubt, I wouldn't be surprised if he's put more work in in the tackles and the pressing than anybody on the pitch. And that's why Ten Hag will love him. The biggest problem with Weghorst is he's such a likeable guy, and he's very important to the team, and his work rate, they'll love it, but he's slow. Like, he's slow. There was 2 or 3 times today where he should have scored, but he can't get there quick enough. He's very, very slow over 5 yards. And at this level, especially when you're playing at the top level, you might get away with it for Wolfsburg. You might get away with it for Besiktas. But at the very top level, he lacks a yard of pace. He just takes too long to get going. And he makes the right moves, but he's just not quite quick enough. So I really do like him, but I'm not going to start pretending that, he's quick enough or anything like that. His work rate's fantastic, but he does lack, and we saw that in the first half, that speed around the pitch. Bruno, for me, is another 8. I thought that, he is number 8, and it was an 8 out of 10. Leadership, the ability to turn up every week. I mean, we've seen people like Delot be injured twice. Maguire's injured today. Anthony's injured again. Martial's always injured. I think there's so much to be said for the player that since the World Cup is playing every game. And Rashford and Bruno, because they're outfield players, deserve a huge amount of applause. And not just because they're performing well, but because they're actually always there. They want to play, they're able to play, and they're able to perform. They are defying logic. When we sat there as a community and said in August, we're going to have such a problem in the second half of the season because we're going to have so many games and so many players that have played from the start of August 3 times a week, all the way through the World Cup. Look, it's beyond ridiculous that Bruno Fernandes can keep playing every 3.5 days, 90 minutes. Whatever he's made of, whatever his genetics, that needs bottling, because every club would like a player that can play as much as him, and we are benefiting from it. And not only that, he's our captain as well. So it impacts it. We get a double bonus. It's going to be funny when PSG become a feeder club for this new beast, United, says Steve. Just got back from the game. Second half, played some really good football. Players that came in done a good job. Bruno pass for Rashford was class, says Simon. Eric Ten Hag playing people in different positions improves their overall game. Lindelof's positioning, Shaw far post defending, Rashi's heading, and Bruno's crosses, says Sudan. G'day, Mark. Who wins in a race between Weghorst and Maguire? I actually think Harry would beat him. I actually think Harry would win in a foot race against Weghorst. I don't know. In fact, I might do a poll on that. I think that's probably the best poll ever. Who wins in a race? I'm not talking about ability. Who wins in a race? I think Maguire would beat Weghorst over 5 yards. I do. I really do. Unpopular opinion. There you go. We get all sorts of polls on here. Garnacho today, probably a 6 for me. Yeah. I don't think he was dreadful. I just think Ten Hag made a decision on tactics, and Weghorst and Garnacho was the fall guy. I don't think he was terrible. I thought it was average, and I think it was a tactics thing. Rashford's an 8 for me as well. Well, I think we know who's going to get man of the match then, because Rashford's got the highest score. I ain't got no problem with Rashford getting man of the match. Goals win games, but overall, I felt that De Gea and Bruno offered more to the overall performance. But at the end of the day, this is why I keep saying Rashford can win the Ballon d'Or. He just ticks the box. He keeps getting man of the match, even when he might not be man of the match, because he scores the goals. And this is football. This is where strikers cost £100 million more than everyone else. This is why they get the bigger wages. This is why they win the awards. This is why Rashford's going to win man of the match. Is he man of the match? He could be. I don't think it's clear cut, but it will be in many of your minds because he scored 2 goals. And that's why he can win the Ballon d'Or. He's got the goals, he's got the game, he's got the brand, he's got the status, he's got the lot. He can win the Ballon d'Or. He can win Player of the Year. He can. He can. I know he can. Sancho, let's give him a 7.5 off the bench. Yep, I agree with that. Really good performance from Jadon. I agreed with him not starting today. I think he'd had 2 games where he fell off a little bit, but it suits him at the moment. Patience is key. It suits him at the moment, coming off the bench in those type of games. No pressure. And he had another good cameo off the bench. McTominay, whatever you think about McTominay, good to have him back. Give him an average 6. Wan-Bissaka off the bench is very good, 6.5. Anthony Elanga, 6. Mainu, 6.5. And Ten Hag, 9. Brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. The way he's managing this team every 3.5 days and winning, I don't think any of us really will understand it for a long time. It doesn't make any sense. Since December the 27th, we've played every 3.5 days on average, and we've won nearly every game. I don't think we've lost the game, have we? Have we lost since December the 27th? Have I just buried that? Arsenal, 1 loss, and that was right at the end. It's unbelievable. It defies logic how we're doing this. And we've had injuries. Eriksen out for ages. Donny out for the season. Dalot's been injured twice. Maguire's injured now. Casemiro's been suspended. There are other injuries. Martial, Anthony, McTominay. We've had the injuries we knew that would happen, and yet we're still winning games against teams who've had a whole week off. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I cannot tell you how unbelievable it is what he's doing. Unbelievable. Absolute. Have I said it's unbelievable? It's unbelievable. It's absolutely brilliant and unbelievable. And you know what? You talk about Manager of the Year award. Yeah, it probably goes to Arteta if they win the league. But I tell you what, where's the line? Where do you draw the line? Because the volume of games we're playing, it's a lot harder. And also, Arsenal, Arteta's been there a few years. This is Ten Hag's first year. Where do you draw the line? We all grew up wanting to be players, but the Ten Hag masterclass makes you want to be a manager, says Butterpants. Welcome to Members Club Rubble. And Dale's just gifted 10 memberships. You're a legend, Dale. And Jameson Smith's just gifted 10 memberships. You're both legends. You're very generous. Thank you very much for that. Man of the match. Man of the match. I'm going to give it to Bruno. I just think he defies logic. So I will give it to Bruno. But I think I know who's going to get man of the match. And I haven't got a problem with it. It'll be Marcus Rashford. It is 46% of the vote. Second man of the match in a row for Rashford. This is why he can win the Ballon d'Or. Because he just keeps winning. He is the cover photo, isn't he? He is the star of the team at the moment because he scores the goals. 46% for Bruno. Sorry, not 46%. 46% of the vote for Marcus Rashford. 23% for Bruno. 20% for De Gea, and then the rest is selected others. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Beth is on the. I will just say this. Beth is on the fan forum. And obviously did a video on De Gea last week. Might be worth reminding her that De Gea has broken the clean sheet record. But thanks everyone for watching. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. I'll see you over on the fan forum.